Welcome to this explainer. I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you will never, ever feel sleepy again. At first, it sounds like an absolute superpower, doesn't it? More time to work, more time to play, more time to just binge your favorite shows. You would effectively gain almost 1/3 of your entire life back. It's a seriously alluring fantasy to just give up sleep entirely and unlock all that lost time. But I've got to burst that bubble right now because the truth is terrifying. Your brain simply wasn't built to stay awake forever. If you never slept again, you wouldn't get endless productivity. Instead, your memories would vanish, your emotions would completely spiral, and eventually your own body would just shut itself down. So today, we're treating this explainer as a definitive learning lesson on exactly why sleep is non-negotiable. We are going to cover the zero sleep fantasy, the timeline of exhaustion, pushing the extreme limits, the science of brain cleaning, and finally, the ultimate learning lesson. All right, part 1, the zero sleep fantasy. When you really think about it from a strict survival standpoint, sleep seems kind of absurd. I mean, it's an evolutionary paradox. When you're asleep, you are unconscious. You aren't eating, you aren't working, and historically, you are left completely vulnerable to predators. So why on earth didn't evolution just weed it out? Well, it's because sleep is an absolute biological necessity. While you are lying there doing seemingly nothing, your body is incredibly busy. It is repairing damaged cells, recovering muscles, releasing vital hormones, and fortifying your immune system. Think of your brain like a giant, highly complex computer. Throughout the day, you've got thousands of programs open. Everything you're looking at, thinking about, and experiencing. Sleep is literally pressing the restart button on that computer. Without restarting, your system slowly begins to lag. Files fail to organize, and eventually you get the biological equivalent of the spinning wheel of death. Which brings us to section 2, the timeline of exhaustion. So, what actually happens when you refuse to shut that machine down? Let's track the rather terrifying chronological breakdown of the human mind and body over 3 solid days of wakefulness. It starts at just 24 hours awake. Stay up for 1 full day, and your reaction times drop so dramatically that your brain is functioning almost as if you are legally drunk. You get sluggish, your attention span shrinks, and simple decisions suddenly feel like solving advanced calculus. You might completely lose your train of thought mid-sentence, and getting behind the wheel of a car, it becomes absolutely lethal. And the reason driving is so lethal at this stage is because of microsleeps. When you deny your brain rest for this long, it gets so desperately exhausted that it literally forces itself to sleep for a few seconds, even while your eyes are wide open. These tiny, totally involuntary moments cause thousands of driving accidents every single year. You don't even realize you've been unconscious. Then we hit the 48-hour mark, 2 full days without sleep, and the stakes escalate rapidly. Your body is utterly exhausted. Emotionally, you become incredibly unstable. Tiny little problems feel like monumental catastrophes. Anxiety takes over, your immune system drops, and your body actually struggles to regulate its own blood sugar. At this point, just trying to hold a basic conversation requires monumental effort. Your brain is practically screaming for a break. By 72 hours, 3 whole days awake, things get genuinely frightening. Reality itself distorts. People actually begin hallucinating. You might hear voices, see shadows darting across the room, or objects might appear to just change shape. Why does this happen? Because different regions of your overly fatigued brain actually start shutting down independently. It's as if parts of your brain are fast asleep while the rest of you is walking around awake, creating symptoms that mirror severe mental illness. Your own mind literally turns against you. Moving right along to section 3, pushing the extreme limits. Now you might be wondering, if the brain is shutting down this violently, can a total lack of sleep actually kill you? Indirectly, absolutely. Extreme sleep deprivation skyrockets your risk for heart disease, strokes, and fatal accidents. But a direct biological death? Yes, though it is incredibly rare. There's a tragic genetic disease called fatal familial insomnia. People with this condition slowly lose the actual physical ability to fall asleep. Because their brains can no longer perform the essential functions that sleep provides, the condition is universally fatal. It proves that a total biological lack of sleep is, in fact, a death sentence. But what about regular folks, just pushing the limits? Let's talk about this massive number, 264. Back in 1964, a high schooler named Randy Gardner set a world record by staying awake for 264 hours. That's over 11 straight days. He suffered severe memory problems, massive mood swings, poor coordination, and intense hallucinations, like mistaking street signs for actual people. Thankfully, once he finally slept, those symptoms vanished. But scientists would never allow this experiment to be repeated today. The systemic health risks are just way too high.
Okay, Section 4, the science of brain cleaning.
This is where we uncover the incredible biological rescue operation that kicks in the second we close our eyes. You see, sleep is not passive rest. It's a highly active, dynamic state. Scientists discovered something amazing called the glymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's overnight cleaning crew. While you're asleep, this system actively flushes away dangerous waste products and toxins that have literally built up inside your brain all day long. If you don't sleep, that toxic garbage just sits there and accumulates. And here is the core learning lesson regarding how this actually works step by step. First, it flushes away that waste. Second, it starts reviewing the skills you practiced and the facts you learned that day. Third, it actively strengthens those essential memories. And fourth, it throws away all the unneeded junk information. Sleep is literally when your brain decides what knowledge to keep. Without it, retaining new information and actually learning is, biologically speaking, pretty much impossible. And finally, Section 5, the ultimate learning lesson. So why does all of this science matter for your daily routine? Well, if we summarize the brutal timeline we've just explored, the cost of staying awake is simply too high. You face an immediate loss of focus, your emotions destabilize, your immune system crashes, and if you push it far enough, you're looking at hallucinations and total systemic malfunction. Sacrificing your sleep for the sake of a little extra productivity doesn't give you more life, it just catastrophically degrades the quality of the life you are living right now. I want to leave you with this thought as we wrap up this explainer. When you climb into bed tonight, I want you to remember that sleep isn't wasted time. As this quote perfectly captures, you're not losing time. You're giving your body the chance to repair itself, your brain the chance to reset, and your future self the chance to wake up healthier. So ask yourself tonight, is that extra hour of doom scrolling or late night working really worth the cognitive price your brain is paying? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I sincerely wish you a very good night's rest.